Here.
Mr. Brennan.
Present.
Mr. Brown.
Here. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes?
Moved.
A motion, can I get a second?
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All right, presentations. Where is he? There he is. Welcome back, Spencer.
Thank you.
Come on up to the podium.
Can't get rid of me.
We don't want to get rid of you, that's
Keep
not
coming
true.
back.
We love you.
All All right.
You're getting some gray hair though. Since
I'm
you-
getting too much gray hair, Peter. Too much gray hair.
How many kids you got?
3.
That'll do it.
The oldest is 5.
That'll definitely do it. I won't be impressed if you have 4 then.
Talk about that later. All right, well, excited to be here, grateful to be here. On behalf of everybody that we have worked with already and will continue to work with, thank you, Economic Development, Mr. Jeff Palin, Mr. Teresa Wilson, and many other departments across the city. Meredith Rose is with me today. She is working on the Trinity side on these projects that we'll discuss today. But first, before we really jump into the properties that we're going to be discussing, I wanted to give a quick overview of how we got here. 2023, we began this process as I was at the city. And as Ms. Wilson spoke about and has talked about Project Catalyst, it's really the shared vision that the mayor talks about as ribbon cuttings that council shares, that you all share in this room. But it's really an overarching initiative from the city, focused on growth, improving quality of life. And there's many projects under Project Catalyst, but one specifically that, or these 3, I guess we should talk about first. These 3 are notable in my mind, what I would refer to as catalyst projects that the city has invested in and changing the landscape of our downtown. You have significant investments in key areas, Main Street, the Vista, and of course, Finley Park. And the city has really taken ownership and said, we're going to invest in our city. We're going to create a better life, better infrastructure. And because of that, that's why we're here today. It's created what I called from the very beginning, the COC ECDev RE portfolio. But it is the list of properties or the properties of opportunity for economic development that are city-owned. And so the subject properties we're on today are Washington Square and Bull and Taylor. These properties, as you know, are in great locations, Main Street, Main and Washington, and then one of the busiest intersections of our city at Bull and Taylor. We've got a full acre there. Washington Square offices made up of business licensing, planning and development, and many others. Bull and Taylor Police Station or not station, but police training facility and some fire department offices as well. So these properties really began the continuation of what Ryan and I were doing at Economic Development. But it really began forming this partnership, thinking about what we were going to do, how we were going to do it, the timing of it all, when folks were moving out, when to roll it out. And this partnership began to form. And this partnership is first and foremost aligned in what we're trying to achieve. We want to maximize the value of these properties. We want to collaborate with the stakeholders. We want to attract investors that are aligned with Columbia's strategy for growth. And we want to ensure collaboration and accountability, that we're really growing Columbia the right way with the right developers, and that these projects, once these properties are sold, these projects can get up off the ground and really transform our city. Our approach is simple. We're combining our expertise and our resources at the city and at Trinity Partners so that we can engage all stakeholders. We're going to pursue a targeted buyers with a strategic approach. We are doing our due diligence to protect the city's assets. So when offers come in and projects are shown to us, that we can really financially make sure the underwriting is correct, and we will have professional services and partners to do that. I will not You'll not be relying on Spencer's spreadsheet for that. There'll be professional services to do that. And we want to work with folks with a partnership mentality. I think one thing we want to make very clear, I don't think the city has any intentions to be co-developers in a deal, but full intentions to sell these buildings and dispose of these buildings in the hands of responsible developers to create our overall mission and goal. And then we've got to measure our success, because if we don't, we'll hear it from Councilman Peter Brown. But as we go through this, we're going to look at the economic impact, at the fiscal impact, at the community impact, and eventually the market impact. And I think one thing that we can look at is what's our brand like in this region? What's the city of Columbia look like 3, 4, 5 years down the road versus what it looks like today? And these properties have a very large impact to play in that story. Next, we have a synergistic partnership. I did not know that was a word until AI told me it was. But synergistic it's true. I mean, there's been a lot of synergy, and we've proven that so far. I mean, we've spent, I think my last day at the city was over a year ago, probably close to a year and a half. We've continued conversations. This has been at the forefront of our minds, and we've continued to think about how to roll these properties out. We have met with marketing. Jay and her team has been outstanding. We're working on the marketing deliverables together. She's taking a huge role in that, flying drones. She's even going to let me interview the mayor and the city manager together to get some sound bites for some things. Research, the city's delivered research for us. We're using our resources. We'll have financial partners. Justin and the PR team are heavily involved. And then planning and development, as we begin to look at these possible developments, will play an integral role in how they look in the future and what obstacles we may have to achieve. And they'll be at the forefront of that. And then community partners. We want to, once we get these rolling, we want to go to the Main Street District, the Chamber, and everybody in between to really tell them our story, what we're doing, and get them excited about it as well. But the synergy leads to creativeness. And so Meredith's going to pass out. These aren't final yet, so I didn't put it on this slide deck. But this is a quick kind of front and back page of each property of what we're building. The marketing will be much more in depth when we roll these properties out, or as we call it, go live with them. But these are a teaser, so to speak, I guess, that we'll put on our networks like CoStar, on the website. Justin is not here today, but there's a website on the city's platform with projects that looks absolutely incredible. And so we're going to market this thing all over the city. We'll market it traditionally as Trinity would do. And then we'll have a strategic approach to go and get in front of the right developers and investors that we can tell this story and really have a successful project with. I will say that the creativeness with marketing and Jay's team and Justin and PR so far, and that's really the main group we've worked with, has been great. You've done a great job. It's been very incredible. I think we're going to create a lot of really good deliverables that we can put in the deal folder, video. I believe we might try to do a virtual tour of Washington Square so that investors from afar can tour that building online and not have to travel all the way here. And then, of course, we'll be hosting people throughout, the interested parties touring this property on foot. The proposed timeline, and this is really what we're here to discuss today, and this is a very in flux, would like your feedback on. I'm sure you guys will have some. But, we're really spending August and September establishing a working framework between the city and Trinity. And it's been going great so far. We're creating the marketing. We're building out financial models specifically for Bull and Taylor and Washington Square, based on a few different types of uses. And then we are going to start scheduling community roadshows or community partners roadshow type events. Starting in October, we want to go live. We want to put it all over internet, CoStar, LoopNet, online, social media, and really start the marketing and prospecting campaign. And we really see from October to March, that's 6 months, is this discovery and underwriting period for prospective buyers. We'll, of course, host people in the city to tour the building, have them come meet council if necessary, or mayor or staff, whoever. But we'll really spend those kind of 6 months. And then April 1 is really a target end date. It's one thing we want to discuss. I think, we don't want to pass up the right development because we have to wait till April. That's not really what this is about. It's really just more of a self-given goal in this group to say, hey, I think in 6 months we can really, it gives us enough time to call on the people, the groups that we think would be a great partner. It gives enough time for everybody that wants to find it online, present us with offers. So that April date's not really, this is a hard timeline. It's really more of an influx process. And then, of course, once a buyer's chosen, then we'll go through the normal council reviews and everything else and present it as we would.
So Spencer, this
Yep.
this ties in really good with what I'm calling a new effort, not necessarily called property tax reform, but we're calling it property tax modeling.
Yep.
So as I look at this piece of paper that Jeff just gave me, I've written a whole bunch of stuff on it. So there's so many hidden things in here that I think we gotta look at. Okay, so A, what's the value of each property, which I think we really should identify, what do we think the value is? But also, what is the investment potential of each property?
Right.
What's the property tax potential of each property? What's the additional growth, because growth leads to more growth. What is the growth potential that we define? And because we're defining it, it can't be wrong. It's just a projective secondary and tertiary type modeling of tax and growth. Okay, so you assume, like, take 1400 block of Main. You assume someone puts a $250 million investment, and people are gonna live there. Well, people spend money, and then, what is the secondary type value of the businesses around and the restaurants?
Indirect.
Yeah, right. And then what's the, tertiary value of having people downtown versus not having people downtown?
Right.
So anyway, I really want to sit down with you at some point, and Jeff, and look at the modeling of these properties. Okay, because I think there's an economic value past the value. The value is important, is secondary to the economic value of what we're talking about.
Right.
Okay, so I wanted to try to define that, and because we're defining it, it can't be wrong. Okay, because it's just an educated guess on what's gonna happen. But there's a second side of that we're talking about, which is the cost side. So there's the cost side doesn't always equal the value side of an economic development. Okay, so we wanna look at what's our cost to, as a city, to provide services as part of an economic development plan. Make sense?
Yep.
Okay, so I just want to throw that out, because I think that's the key to defining where we go for the next 5 years, which I love that. I think, I've said all along, I really do think 10 years from now, that Columbia could be like a mini Nashville. With probably without the music. But just think about, a place where there's a economic development leads to quality of life. And that's where we're at. So, anyway, I just want to put that on your radar,
Yeah.
that we want to start talking about these types of things.
Spencer, let me ask you a question.
Yep.
So your time at the city, we focused on one real estate asset in particular, 2221 Divine Street. From your experience, how have you shaped this path forward from what we learned on the disposal of that building, with the mindfulness and the targeted efforts of what
Yeah.
we
That's
as a city and a staff wanted to see there? Because I see a couple other properties that I think we would have a vision of seeing the right user come and develop it.
Sure.
So can you speak to that?
Yeah, 2221, I think, was very different than these properties, given that it had been vacant for a while. There was not we did not have a strategy in place. And in fact, 2221 Divine, when we were going through it, we were really looking at the list of the consolidation. So when the city was going to move into 1401, our original list was about 5. 2221 was in another bucket. And so 2221 got brought over, and that was a big learning. I mean, learning about the staff, how staff operates, how staff thinks, learning about council, how you guys think and operate, and then learning about the market of how people throw offers at the city, right? I mean, there's a lot of that people, and me included, right? But when somebody wants an asset at 2221 Divine, what I found is that there was really no real process of how to get it. People just began calling, putting in LOIs, we'd bring them into the room, we'd discuss them. And so what I think this is for me, and one thing I was really mindful about, is that we want to give everybody the opportunity and a fair chance. And it's out, put in your offers, let's see your concept, but understand where we're headed here, right? So everybody gets the same look. And we want to have time as well to sell ourselves, right? Brian and I talked about that the other day. We have this pitch book, right? Well, now we can go sell the city and what's going on and why it's great to move here and live here and be a part of this. But we can also sell properties that come along with it. Say, hey, we're not just selling this, we're putting projects into action that are aligning ourselves as we grow. And so what I learned from 2221 Divine is that you don't want to, now I think Ms. Wilson and Ryan and others would agree, I'm not the best government employee, so too many systems and operations you break, right? It just doesn't work. But with the right football field or right field to play on with the right boundaries, you can really make a lot of success, and that's what this is trying to do.
All right, I got my own lessons learned from 2221 Divine.
You
So,
were here.
number one was, I think we have a better organization and structure.
Yeah.
And I think we were missing that on 2221 Divine. Two, I also think there's a better overall vibe and timing to do this than there was 2 years ago.
Absolutely.
And number three, I think we have to be strategic, but we don't have to be closed-minded. So I think there's more right things than wrong things that can go with these properties. And I don't think I think we should let the market drive what those options are and not us pigeonhole ourselves into being narrow-minded on what successful outcomes are.
That's right.
And if I could add, which I think goes right along with everything that you all are saying, and I said this discussion when I just came in the room, I'm really excited about this. I think you gotta believe,
Yeah.
right? Like the Irmo Little League team that has just taken everybody by storm. Their coaches, I mean, you have to believe, and I think that whether it's 2221 Divine, the way it looked and the way it's been pitched in this hard sell, or Washington Square, and there's members of our team in here who know that I have told them for a while, it just needs to be the right time, and believe that we will get what we ought to get out of that building, when it probably hadn't felt like we ever would,
Right.
but we will now. And so it's just what we're aspiring to be, and it is the culture and the vibe right now.
Yep. Gotta be aggressively patient.
I mean, but we're in a really unique opportunity.
If you like that one, Jeff?
Yeah, I mean, time will tell if my hypothesis is right, but we're going to be one of the first cities in this post-COVID world to really hit its stride and grow. And the world looks a lot different. And so I think it's in favor for us, right? And we hear the mayor talk about the Greenway system, the walkability. And he gets a little better at it every time. He just practices and practices. But that's huge for this city to connect it, right? And so I'm excited, and Ms. Wilson's right. I mean, we've got to believe and know that, we've got great people, and they're going to continue to do great work in this city. But we're hitting a growth spurt, and there's going to be new people that come invest in our city, and we want it to be the right partners to do it.
Spencer, in this partnership, and I think I've advocated for us maybe having a designer to come in and give the beautiful renderings, the eyewash, to send you on your way to sell. Is that included in this partnership? I mean, who's gonna create kind of,
So these renderings were done by Todd Martin and his team at the city. That was city. This is city color scheme. I don't know if I'm saying, I'm not a marketing guru, but yeah. It's a color palette for the city. The logo, the city and Trinity logo was from Jay, co-branded. Jay, you can probably take over here if you'd like. I'm in your world now. But it was a big, heavy lift by the city. And then our team at Trinity just put it into.
okay, so Todd and his team are.
Yeah, Todd and his team did these
actively working
renderings.
on this list of, if we wanna see some great elevation. All right, fantastic.
And so the elevations that were what we wanted people to believe in and aspire to be for the city that were shown at the Core Campus Project Catalyst presser. Todd did those, so there was more of this at that presser. I don't think we have them with us today, but
No,
yeah, but he did all of those
Great. I
in
think
short
that's-
order, I might add.
That's very
did a
important.
really good job. And that's another team that we've worked with, and it's been very good. And then we've kind of already hit this, the council input. I think, we do want to hear, especially from this committee, on where we're headed with these properties, giving us the Economic Development Committee. We're going to finalize marketing and then, establish framework. I think we're already pretty much there on how we're operating. Standard meetings between us and Economic Development, and then as well as with Jay and her team. And then we're targeted to go live with this October 1. And so we're excited, and we look forward to being back soon when we've got some opportunities to discuss.
I think another really important thing is that we channel the discussions with potential buyers in a much more organized way as well, and not have it where everybody's meeting with everybody and nobody knows what we're talking about, so. But, and I say that knowing that what I'm saying that because there's so many hangover sites. So I just think this is a good chance to reset and control the narrative, control the communication, and control the noise,
Right.
for lack of a better word.
And we have that system in place, right, for these two properties is when things come in, they start with us and Ryan, and then they'll slowly maneuver up the chain and around where they need to go. But we need a central starting point for everybody that's interested.
Totally agree, and a better vetting process.
And that also
like
then
you talked
allows
about.
for us to actually know where things are instead of, I think that was my biggest concern with 221 Divine is there would be developers or potential projects that would come to us individually, and then we just didn't know what conversations had occurred or where things were. So as much as we can streamline that, just so that we have a clear update of this is where it is, that would be good.
Yes, and I bet, 2221 Divine, I think, will be in a month or two when we'll come back for a update, I believe. We can't really talk about it. Thankfully, that one is going to work out. It's going to be great. But yes, it was a whirlwind to get there, and so I'm glad that we're able to get out ahead of these.
Well, and hopefully we can track the benefits that roll off from that investment.
And that's right.
To-
Yes.
Into the
part of
5 points
modeling.
community
The
and
value versus cost, yeah.
Yeah, so we can, so the next article by the Post and Courier will be a little different.
It won't, but it won't matter. I would suggest people are still gonna come to y'all, because that's what they do. Y'all are
Yeah, I get
elected
it, I'm gonna
officials.
say,
So y'all, y'all can listen, whatever y'all want with it, but also direct them to Spencer.
my thing is, that's what I'm saying, I think that's the value of just reset and centralizing this. This deck gives us the ability to say, hey, guys, we got a process for this. See, before we didn't have a process, we had a free-for-all. So now I get to say, hey, I don't have time for drinks or lunch, just work through the process and we'll go from there.
Thanks, Spencer.
I don't. Thanks, Spencer.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Brennan. Can I get a motion?
Yeah, absolutely.
Move us towards executive session.
Chairman Brown, I make the motion, we enter into executive session for discussion of negotiations incident to propose contractual arrangements pursuant to SC Code 3470A2 Economic Development Partners and discussion of matters relating to the proposed location, expansion, or provision of services encouraging location or expansion of industries or other businesses in the area served by the public body pursuant to SC Code 3470A5. Project Vulcan, Project Senate, 2725 Main Street, Capital City Ballpark, Project WF.
I have a motion, can I get a second?
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right,